Alright fellas, what's going on? It's your boy Lex, and we are back with some more ladder coverage. I think we've been using too old of teams, I guess is how you could word it. Like very old teams to see how they match with the meta. But I know you guys want to be tapped into that extreme modern day try hard stuff. And that is what I'm going to bring for you today. So we have Santu's team from S-Tour. He beat 3D my boy, unfortunately. And his team just seems so unbelievably he could try hard, which makes sense. Smog Tour, semifinals, gotta bring your strongest teams. So we're gonna see how well it does. It looks a lot similar to that other team we used with Gambit, Wogerpon, Tusk, and Zap, I think. It had all four of those guys, but it had a Glow King and Zamazenta instead of Darkrai and Garg. And you know your boy is tired of the dishonorable Garganacils that have been populating the ladder recently, or I guess for a long time now. So finally, we're going to be tapped in with it. This Garg set is actually Terra Fairy Iron Press, which you don't see too often nowadays, but we're going to add a little speed because we want to creep opposing Gargs. And in fact, I'm going to add a little bit more speed for Hatterines that are trying to creep us, creep them. So yeah, we're going to run with Iron Press Garg. It is very weak to Goldengo, so the team needs to have good pivots around it, but luckily most of the team doesn't give Goldengo a lot of chances to set up, so we have that going for us. Ogerpon is going to be a 4 attack spread, just to break as much, do as much damage as possible, it looks like. Darkrai is Scarf with Trick, Will-O-Wisp. I made a Terra Ghost for Dragon E-Speed, but I guess that's way less common now. So maybe this could be something else, like a Terra Dark to act as a more sufficient cleaner, perhaps, but we'll keep Ghost for now, see how it does. Zapdos doing Zapdos thing, spamming Thunder Wave, Volt Switch, all that jazz. Great Tusk with Rocky Helmet and some kind of bulk invest. We're probably going to make this like Terra Fairy or something like that. And then King Gambit is going to be hopefully how we're close the games today with your Swords Dance usual shenanigans. This could be any kind of Terra. Maybe Ghost is best. I kind of like Ghost, I think. We'll try this out, see how it goes, and I'll see you for game 1. Alright, we have game number 1 versus Flex Plays Only. Which is a pretty scary name to face against. They're running what looks like a very standard Tinglu Goldengo bulky offense. They got 4 sweepers on their side, so we gotta be very cognizant of how we approach that. I'm wondering how they actually lead into Ogerpon. So I'm wondering if Raging Bolt is actually the lead of choice here, or like a defensive Goldengo maybe. I think we still lead Ogre though, because it just leads so well into every other thing. Okay, it is Raging Bolt. It looks like it could be Specs on this. This is a tricky turn. Like, I kind of want to just play rough, get some good chip on this, set something else up later. Alright, so we go for Thunderbolt. That is definitely not Specs. It looks like it's some kind of boot set, actually. But that's going to be a free Tusk for us. Yep. They go for Volt instead of Thunderclap, so that's a very aggressive flex play, as their name shows. And we're just going to try to Rocks up here. Perfect. Alright, and now we're going to Hard Switch Ogerpon. And I'm actually going to play rough again, expecting them to sack their Raging Bolt, which we read perfectly. That's great. And now they're kind of in a tricky spot. They're forced to go Valiant, which reveals that it's not actually Speed Booster. So I'm wondering if this is Specs or Scarf. We could just sack Ogerpon here. But I could also hard Garg, because if it is... Well, if it's Specs, we're really fried. Because we have no Fairy... Yo, this guy's team has no Fairy MU. What are we doing? Alright, maybe it should be Terrifier Gambit then. Okay. I'll just hard switch Garg, I think. Hopefully there's Scarf and not Specs. We'll see right now. Okay, they are Specs, but our Garg was not winning this game anyways because we are Terra Fairy versus Gambit Gold. So we're just gonna unfortunately have to sack it. And now we will go Gambit, I think. Zapdos is also fine. Darkrai could be fine if we bait him out, but I think there's probably a decent chance that they just stay in versus us. So we're actually gonna go Gambit. We should be able to eat a Specs Fairy Blast or anything like that. So we're just going to click Iron Head into what's expected to be Ting Lu. Okay, it's Rocky Helmet. I think Ogerpon actually does live Earthquake from this range. Yep. And now we are going to go ahead and Ivy Cudgel. Because if they go D-Knight, then we're fine. If they go Gambit, we're also fine, I think. Because here we can just double Tusk. I would imagine they click Sucker. But Ironhead is also chipping them low. You have to be very careful about not losing to that Valiant. Okay, they decide to stay in there, which is fine for us. I'm very much willing to sacrifice my Great Tusk HP in order to beat Gambit. Because now we can just headlong this. It might do a KO. It doesn't. And I guess we go Ogerpon here. Because we're not going to knock it out. Rocks will come back in. This at least gives us the initiative in what he decides to bring in to revenge us. Which is Iron Valiant. Okay. Okay, here I want to zap, I think. And Thunderwave is really free. But Volt is also pretty free. Oh my god. We get crit and we almost drop. But this is fine because now we can go Darkrai and we can just click Ice Beam. As they sack Gambit. Okay, gold is in now. We're going to sack Zapdos here. They're going to make it rain. Okay. Here we're going to Gambit because I think if we click Sucker Punch, we're chilling. I'm not sure though. Is there a chance he just Focus Blast raw? But I think, so the reasoning is if we force Terra from this gold right now, Darkrai has a chance to clean the game up with Scarf Ice Beam. But let's see. I'm just going to Sucker. We're going to see what happens. Okay, they go for Thunder Wave. So we're fine to just Iron Head, I'm pretty sure. Because this shouldn't be Focus Blast. Actually, I guess we could have Katawed anyways. So we can just Kataw here. Okay, Valiant is in now. I think we just sack Tusk and then bring Darkrai in, spam Ice Beam. Yeah, I think that's fine. We could lose depending on the D-Knight Terra, but I don't think we can do much about that. Like, I think we just have to spam Beam and hope that it's not something that auto wins them the game. But let's see. We still have a chance. Ooh, okay, maybe we don't. Let's see. The Ice Beam is doing 36. Oh, they're Roost. Okay. Well, we're going to hard to our Gambit here. And hopefully they don't attack us. And now we're going to try to Terra Ghost Iron Head because we should live Earthquake. Oh my god, we live. Come on. No, dude. Why? It's just a travesty. There's not much else to say. We would have actually won that game, which is crazy. But we don't, so alas, GG. Opponent played that D-Knight endgame well, forced us to revenge with Darkrai. It is what it is. I'm maybe wondering, if I Dark Pulse with Darkrai, and then Sucker Punched with Gambit, we would have won that endgame for sure, but, you know, that's dependent on him not having a Terra that beats my Terra, like flying. Alright, the tale of skiing in Japan is here once again, and we are facing them again. Very interesting looking team on their end. Looks like a semi-booster offense, semi-Samurott, spike up everything. Ogerpon looks great as a lead though. Beats everything except for Petrant. Garg looks really, really good, actually. It might actually just 6-0 too, as long as they don't have Encore or Steel Beam Treads or something. Zap looks pretty good. Looks really annoying, but we're just going to lead Ogerpon. Alright, they lead Lando. This is probably Scarf, but I'm just going to Zap anyways. Yeah, that looks like Scarf if they're clicking U-turn so freely like that. Okay, Wake is in and it's Special Booster, which is actually a Giga Threat. We have to live Draco and Thunderwave. Okay, they go for Scald. That's great. That para on that is actually such a big deal. And we can try to roost up on this. Because I think we should live Draco based off the Scald damage, right? Alright, they're gonna fish Skull Burns, which they do get. I guess we're just gonna roost again. Like, force this thing to Draco, maybe? Okay, they go for it there. Kinda wanna just... No, I should not. I should respect this. Yeah, I guess I'll just Volt into Gambit, because Gambit is not very useful here. And hopefully they Drake. They go for Scald again, which does quite a bit. Here we're just gonna Sucker. I think I just want Chip on this. And I don't mind if they knock us out. Okay, well they click Scald again. And I guess we could just attack. It doesn't matter. Our Gambit is basically dead. And it gives us the initiative to go something like Great Tusk to revenge it. Force them to bring something else in. I guess it's just Ogerpon. Ogerpon is free. Yeah, let's just Ogerpon and knock. I'm anticipating Petch to come in, I think, but that's fine. We have to make sure we don't lose to Iron Hands somehow, but Iron Hands is looking pretty scary. We might just lose to it straight up. But we do have a Terra Fairy Garg, which is big. Okay, I'm just gonna go Zapdos again to fish. We do dodge a Lucky Stone Edge. I'm kind of down to just Roost here. No, Great Tusk is really free. Let's just go Great Tusk. Hamza is in. It is Speed Booster. So I'm willing to just Headlong trade it for our lives for this. I'm assuming it's going to click Steel Beam or something. Yep. But we do come out on top because our Great Tusk is alive. That Edge is actually pretty fortunate to miss. They would have had our Zap real low. Here, I think I'm just gonna Rocks. And I'm gonna try to win with the Garg. And they actually turn out to be Fast Patch, which is surprising. Their team looks like it would be a Giga Defense Patch. It's all good. Alright, we're just gonna Headlong. We'll trade our life for this Samurott. As it ceaselesses, and we actually eat that. So we're keeping this very low. And now we're gonna Ogerpon, and I'm pretty certain that Garg just wins. But we'll see. They got a crit on us, doesn't really matter. Alright, Lando's in. We're gonna go Zapdos again. I think Zapdos does a pretty good job at denying Iron Hand's free setup, because we can just spam Hurricane. But we could also do the smart play and just hard Darkrai and Trick. I think that actually just guarantees the win. Yeah. Because now we can just go Garg, Idef. We don't even need to Terra necessarily. But I guess we should. I don't want to risk any crit chances. Okay, they go for Grass Knot. Interesting. We're just going to spam Cure. We are super effective damage from Petch, but I don't think Malignant can do even close to enough to us. Yeah, that is 45. So we can just Idef spam. I guess we should Cure. Cure makes the most sense. We can lose to a crit roll, but it's not extremely likely to happen. So we'll just Cure, and then we'll recover. They're looking to Spadef drop us. And we'll just spam Cure here. They only have 5 Malignants left. They're going for a Spadef drop, it looks like, which I think makes sense. But I don't think matters in the long term, to be honest. Like, even if they drop us, we're just going to swap out. And you guys are about to see skillless Garg doing Garg things. That's just how it is. They're still trying to drop us, but, you know, I still just don't think it matters at all. It is unfortunate that they're not getting it, though. I will say that. We don't need to use all of our Cures up. So I'll probably stop doing that at some point. Still not dropping us, which is pretty unfortunate, but, you know, like I said, they need to crit us to have a chance, and they only had 8 chances to crit us, which is really nothing at all. Alright, there's the Spadef drop. Here I can just freely sack Ogerpon, I think. They waste another Malignant, which is great for us. They only have 3 left. Now we can just go Zapdos and mess around with this. Alright, Lando is back in. We can roost once. Okay, that was actually bouncing off. Wow. But now we can just go back to Garg. And we can just cure. And I guess since they only have 3 Maligs, we can just recover here. And now I'll I-def again to get our defense boost back in for the other guys. We'll just recover. And they only have 1 recover left. And they have 2 malignants left. So I don't... this is kind of boring gameplay, but I don't really think they have anything for us. Alright, we'll cure once and then recover spam. Or I guess we don't need to recover spam. We can just do it now. Still need to dodge a crit. Yep. And then we'll recover again, and because Iron Hands is tricked, Guard should always win this endgame from now on. Let's click body press. Yep, that knocks it out. And now we'll Salt Cure this, and it should be a guaranteed win. And they lock themselves into Thunder Punch so Zapdos can roost it off while they're taking cure damage too. Alright, GG, we'll move on to the next one. I realized my aspect ratio was off and it wasn't showing the full game. Apologies for that. Yeah, I mean, this team, like, seems decent, but obviously it's got that glaring weakness that we had in Game 1. Alright, let's evaluate the matchup here. Pretty cool looking team on their end. I like it. It's got a lot of offensive prowess while having a pretty sturdy defensive core. I assume AV Prim, usual Petch, maybe Roarza, maybe Nasty Paw Darkrai. Darkrai would actually be a giga threat to us though. Alright, here I'm going to lead Zap. Zap seems like it can do pretty decent into pretty much its whole team. Okay, it is Prim. I guess we can Thunder Wave. Just make this thing take a huge nuisance. Oh, is that Specs and is about to blow us up? Yeah, there is no Fairy Weak. Well, we don't know if he's Specs, but he probably is Specs. And we're probably cooked. Alright. I guess we'll just Gambit and Iron Head. Because our only way to win this game is going to be with Gambit eventually. Okay, that's offensive, Lando, because that did way too much. We're going to Tusk here. As they U-turn. Are they just going to bring Prim back in? Okay, they bring Darkrai in. It's going to be a free guard for me. As they double back to Lando. Very interesting. I'm going to hard Ogerpon here, expecting Earthquake. Or Earth Power, yep. Maybe that is an offensive Lando. Why did that do 28 then? But we're just gonna knock here, or we're gonna double Tusk here because I expect Petch to come in. They go for Rocks on Ogerpon, which is a pretty crazy play, but I guess we'll just trade Rocks. Right, this is special and it's max speed, but now it's 1 HP for King Gambit. I'm gonna Ogerpon here. We'll keep the Great Tussac, expecting them to just Earth Power again. Yep. And now we'll go for a Cudgel. Expecting a Parting Shot or Recover. We're just going to knock this off for later. They were Shadow Ball though. Okay, but now we can just knock you out with Cudgel. And Petched means Terra Gambit is actually looking really, really good. Terra Garg also looks great. What do we sack? Great Tusk or Ogerpon? Probably Tusk. Tusk doesn't really beat anything, and it's slower than everything except for Prim, so... Alright, we will... Garg. I don't think this is Focus Blast. You don't typically see a boot set with Focus Blast. So we'll Cure. Alright. We'll, double Cure, I guess. Yeah, expecting Primarine to come in. Last Mon Garg is looking really good, guys. I'm gonna sack Ogerpon here. Para would have been great, but not entirely needed, I guess. We'll just Iron Head. I'm surprised they kept that sack. That did a lot. Okay, we're gonna sack Rai. No, Scarf Rai endgame looks not bad at all. We're just gonna sucker. Expecting close combat. And now we're gonna Garg and Altera recover. You know, and now we'll IDEF, and IDEF should knock out Prim at this range. And our speed EVs are also gonna be pretty clutch, honestly. So we know he's not taunt, which means we can recover to full off this. And then we can just knock him out with a cure. I think Garg is about to do it, but it could be special, like there could be a special move on treads. I'm not sure. It's gonna be an interesting end game. The question is, do we eat a Sludge Bomb from Rai into everything else? Okay, they go Prim. And I'm pretty certain that Press just knocks this out. Yeah. That was a very crazy turn 1 exhaust, but it ends up in our favor. GG. Yeah, I mean, you see there's no fairy resist, but the team is ending up pretty decent. Like, we're 2-1 right now. We're gonna grab one more. Alright, we have our final game, and it looks to be versus... Well, it looks like it would be a Hail Veil, except there's no Hail. But it looks like a pretty cool team. Could definitely be a tough matchup. I think this is probably a Rai lead. See what they're about. Okay, they lead Blaziken. Not great. They know they can just close combat or fire move force us out. We have our Swords Dance instantly. Alright, well, fellas, I think we need to hit Hurricane. Okay. Okay. And I think we need to sack Great Tusk. Because I'm guessing this is upper hand. Oh, wow, they knock. Okay, we'll take that for sure. Because we still keep our helm, which is kind of funny. I'm down to just headlong. Yeah, because I was going to say, maybe they don't know we still have our helm. We've all knows upper hand, I think, right? It's all good. Oh, they're Crash. Okay. Alright, well now we're just going to go Darkrai, revenge it. Looks like a Sash Spam offense, but then there's a random Chili into Kyurem. Very curious. Here, I'm just going to Dark Pulse. I'm not messing around with this. We need this chip damage on it. They go for Ice Beam, which isn't strong enough to KO us. Does that mean it's not Specs? I feel like Specs always would. It's like Scarf, or not even any of those. What? Did 85.4 to 107. Terra Ice would have blown us up. It could be Scarf, but I feel like we just Ogerpon. Like, isn't that fine? Okay, they are Scarf. Okay. Oh, that made me voice crack. I saw the freeze and then I saw the instant thaw. Leave a like and subscribe if you are tired of that. Alright, we're just gonna Ivy Cudgel for big chippage. And now we are going to Zapdos and Volt Switch. And I think we have it in the bag with Garg, but we'll find out. Is this even low kick? Like, I don't even know. Kind of doubt it. But I think we can just Sucker Punch. Yeah, and that knocks it out anyways. Alright, so they're going Za now. We're gonna hard Zapdos, and they forfeit. Okay, yeah, I think we'll get another one because of how fast that game was. Alright, we have our final game. I think we just played this opponent, and they were using a different team though. Pretty respectable rank in GXC. This looks pretty tough, I won't lie. Deadbolt is looming and threatening. Cinderace is a very free lead for them, but I think Zapdos is also a pretty free lead for me. Because no matter what this Darkrai is, we're clicking Thunder Wave. Oh, crap. They solved us. Alright, we'll just Garg here. They Drake and their Specs. That's really bad for us. Okay. Would it be insane to Terra right now, just to have a switch into Drake in the future? Loki? Nah. Oh my god. Okay, they swapped. We're cooked. Fellas, we are cooked. They did not take their free kill with Drake. Oh, but they let us recover. Okay. Goldango comes in. Looks like probably Scarf. I can Zapdos here. They make it rain. Okay, we're gonna Volt Switch here. They Lando. Guess we'll just click Volt Switch again. They get rocks up. Maybe a terrible Volt from us. I don't suppose this is actually Stonish though, so we get a Volt off guaranteed. Are they really just gonna spam Earth Power? That doesn't make sense. Yeah. I'm gonna go Tusk here and I'm gonna get our own rocks up. Apply some pressure back to them. They actually go Lando. I'm gonna Rapid Spin. Okay, they go Goldango, sure. I'll hard Gambit here. I don't expect Focus Plus to come out right now, but if they did, it would be a good play. Okay, nope. And here, I'm gonna double back to Zapdos. Nice. We threaten a Thunder Wave on something. I'm gonna spam Volt, though. Yep. Catch the Raging. Bring our Tusk back in. And here, I'm down to just Headlong. Okay. I'm down to Zapdos here. Nice. And now we can just spam Volt. Because, like, what are they going to do? Stall us out complete with Earth Power? That's not happening. Okay, well, now we're going to click Hurricane because they actually seem dead set on sacking their Lando for some reason. So I'll just Cane again. I don't really understand that, honestly, but okay. We'll take a dead Lando for our King Gambit later on. Alright, Darkrai's in now. Maybe we should have let us die to Taunt. But it's okay. Here, I'm just gonna... I think Volt is free, but we could hard Garg. Yeah, let's hard Garg. Wait for Beam, and then we can recover on this. And then we can cure something. This video has really just been Garg doing what Garg be doing, right? Let's see if this is Cloak. It's not. I'm just gonna Gambit here. Nice Raging from them. Are they gonna Drake though? I feel like no. But either way, I'm kind of down to just Sucker. Just chip this thing. Maybe they click Drake and it helps us. Okay. They click T-Bolt. I'm just gonna Katao, I think. Expecting them to swap. Maybe I should have Iron Headed, actually. That was much better. That's okay. We'll just go back to Garg on this. Nice gold from them. I'm down to just sack my Gambit, though. I don't think we need it. Like, it looks really good for us. Okay. And now I'll just Sucker spam. Sucker does quite a bit to that gold, which is great. And now we can go... Ogre? Ogre should claim a kill. Even if they Terra Water on this, we should claim a kill. Have you tried U-turn Discharge on Zap? Yep. It's a pretty good set. But T-Wave is just really cheap in some matchups. Alright, here we're just gonna Great Tusk on the U-turn, because Libero would just knock us out at this range, I'm pretty sure. And I think we're fine to do that. We could also Zapdos here. I guess Zapdos is less useful than Tusk. Okay, so they're defensive, which is pretty nice for us. We get a free Volt here as they go Primarina. Alright, here we're just gonna click Headlong Rush. We could force out a Terra Flying from this, and then that would basically guarantee our win. So I like that. It probably isn't Terra Flying though. Yeah, their opponent is discovering that Zapdos destroys them, which happens to many people, because Zapdos is really cringe and cheap. Like, it's really not anything to be embarrassed about. It's just how it is. Oh, there's Shuka. That makes sense. Yeah, because they only have Lando as a non-ground, or ground switching, rather. Here we can Garg. Relatively free. You're gonna Terra Fire. Oh, that does a lot. Okay. So we lose our... Oh, that's unfortunate. Damn. I feel like I always say this whenever I get lucky, but I seriously don't think it mattered, because our Tusk plus Zapdos Volt plus Darkrai Scarf just cleans the game, but that still sucks. Like, even if Hex doesn't matter, it still feels bad to be hexed, right? Like, that's just human nature. Alright, that concludes this ladder session, and we end up with a net like 30 points or something despite going 4-1. Overall, this team is not bad. Definitely not bad. It's definitely not good into fairy types though. You run into a Namorous, you run into Specs Valiant, which we did. You run into Specs Primarina. It's going to be really, really tough for you guys. But overall, I would say this is pretty decent. I'll give it 3.5 big booms. You know what I mean? And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you for the next video. Take care. Peace.